In the vast and dark expanse of space, Alex, a brave human pilot, steered his sleek spaceship, the Star Chaser, through the stars. The glow of distant suns twinkled around him, creating a beautiful yet lonely view. As he sat in the cockpit, focused on the controls, he felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. Being a pilot was not just a job, it was a calling. While monitoring the space traffic, Alex suddenly picked up a weak distress signal. It crackled through the ship's radio, carrying a frantic plea for help. The message was coming from an uncharted planet called Vantora, a lush world known for its vibrant forests and strange creatures. He leaned closer to the screen, his heart racing. The signal was desperate, begging for rescue. Despite the warnings he had heard about the dangers of unexplored territories, his strong sense of duty pushed him to investigate. As the Star Chaser approached Vantora, things started to go wrong. Strange energy waves pulsed around the ship, causing alarms to blare loudly. The lights flickered, and Alex gripped the controls tightly, trying to steady the ship. Suddenly, a massive alien creature flew dangerously close, forcing him to swerve at the last moment. The unexpected encounter filled him with a sense of dread and curiosity, making him wonder what other dangers lay ahead on this mysterious planet. As Alex stepped out of the Star Chaser, he was immediately enveloped by the beauty of Vantora. The air was fresh, filled with the sweet scent of vibrant flowers. Towering trees, unlike anything he had ever seen, reached high into the sky, their leaves shimmering in various colors. Brightly colored alien plants danced in the gentle breeze, making the village seem alive. However, the beauty was deceiving. An unsettling tension hung in the air. In front of him lay a small village, its buildings crafted from materials that glimmered under the alien sun. Yet the peaceful atmosphere was marred by the ominous presence of drones hovering above. These menacing machines, belonging to a ruthless warlord, patrolled the area, their metallic bodies gleaming in the light. Alex knew he had to be careful. The villagers were in danger, and he needed to act quickly. As he moved closer to the village, Alex noticed a striking figure among the chaos. Zara, an alien mother, stood at the edge of her home. Her skin shimmered in hues of green and blue, and her large, expressive eyes radiated fear and determination. She was desperately trying to hide her child from the watchful eyes of the warlord's enforcers. Zara's heart raced as she crouched low behind a bush, peering cautiously at the drones patrolling the village. She could feel the weight of her responsibility pressing heavily on her shoulders. Beside her was Luna, a small, brave child with bright blue hair that matched the sky. Luna looked up at her mother with admiration in her eyes. She understood the danger they faced, but was filled with a fiery spirit. "Mom, I want to help," Luna whispered fiercely, her tiny fists clenched. Despite the fear swirling around them, Luna was determined to protect her mother and their home. Zara looked down at her daughter, her heart swelling with pride but also fear. "Stay hidden, Luna. You must trust me," she replied softly but firmly. Zara had witnessed her neighbors being captured by the warlord's enforcers. Each time, they would take someone away, never to return. Her protective instincts kicked in, and she felt a surge of determination. She knew she had to find a way to escape before they were discovered. As Alex watched from a distance, he felt an overwhelming urge to help. He could see the desperation in Zara's eyes and the courage in Luna's. It reminded him of his own family back home and the sacrifices they made. "I can't just stand by," he thought, steeling himself for the task ahead. With a plan forming in his mind, Alex crouched behind a nearby tree, observing the village closely. He could see the drones scanning the area, their mechanical eyes glowing ominously. It was a dangerous game, but he knew he had to act fast. He took a deep breath, remembering his training and the importance of teamwork. Zara and Luna needed him, and he was determined to help them escape. As Zara devised her plan, she noticed more drones moving closer to their hiding spot. "They're coming," she whispered urgently to Luna. The child's eyes widened in fear, but she trusted her mother completely. Zara reached out and squeezed Luna's hand. We must be quick and quiet. Remember, you are brave. Suddenly, the drones turned, scanning the area. The whirring sound of their engines grew louder, echoing through the village. Alex knew he had to make a move before it was too late. He spotted a nearby shed that looked old and abandoned. If I can distract the drones, I might be able to create a safe path for Zara and Luna, he thought. With that idea in mind, Alex stealthily made his way toward the shed. His heart raced as he approached, the sound of the drones filling the air. He grabbed a rock from the ground, aimed carefully, and threw it against the side of the shed. The loud noise echoed, drawing the drone's attention away from Zara and Luna. The moment was crucial. Alex's heart pounded in his chest as he watched the drones divert their focus. "Now's your chance," he whispered to himself, hoping Zara and Luna would see the opening. As Zara noticed the shift in the drone's attention, she quickly took Luna's hand and urged her to follow. "Let's go, Luna," she said, her voice filled with urgency. They dashed quietly towards the shelter of the trees, moving fast but careful not to make a sound. With each step, Alex felt a sense of purpose. He was no longer just a pilot. He was part of something much bigger. Together, they were fighting against the odds, and he was ready to stand by their side to ensure their safety. "You said," as Zara and Luna rushed toward the safety of the trees. Alex stayed hidden behind the shed, heart racing with anticipation. He had created a small distraction, but he knew it wouldn't last long. The drones would soon realize they had been tricked. He took a deep breath, focused on his next move, and mentally prepared himself to assist the two aliens who had unknowingly become his allies. Once in the cover of the trees, Zara pulled Luna close. "We need to find a safe place to hide," she whispered urgently. Her eyes darted around, scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. The sound of whirring drones echoed ominously, reminding them that time was running out. They had to come up with a plan quickly. As they crouched beneath the thick foliage, Alex could hear their soft voices. He had to act fast. He carefully approached them, ensuring that his movements were silent. Once he was close enough to be heard, he stepped out from behind the trees, revealing himself. "I'm here to help you," he said, his voice calm yet firm. Zara's eyes widened in surprise, and Luna looked between them, confusion evident on her small face. "You're human?" Zara asked, a mix of disbelief and hope in her voice. "Yes, I'm Alex," he introduced himself quickly. "I overheard your distress signal and came to help. We have to get you both to safety." Zara studied Alex carefully, unsure if she could trust him. "Why would you help us? Humans and aliens are often at odds," she replied, skepticism lacing her tone. Alex understood her hesitation. "I know our worlds have been divided, but I can't ignore the suffering I see. Everyone deserves a chance at freedom, including you and your daughter. I have a ship, and we can escape together." Luna, hearing the hope in Alex's voice, tugged at her mother's sleeve. "Mom, please, we should trust him. He came all this way to help us." Her bright blue hair shimmered in the dappled sunlight, giving her a spark of courage. Zara sighed, weighing her options. She knew they had to act quickly. "All right, Alex, we'll trust you for now. But if this is a trap..." Her voice trailed off, leaving the threat hanging in the air. "I promise it's not a trap. We need to move fast," Alex urged, glancing back toward the village. The drones were starting to regroup, their sensors scanning the area more thoroughly. As they began to formulate their escape plan, Alex quickly laid out his thoughts. "The warlord's drones will be monitoring the village. We need to create a diversion to draw them away from the path to my ship. Zara, do you know of any places nearby where we could set something up?" Zara nodded, thinking back to her village. "There's an old communication tower about a mile from here. If we can get there, I can send out a false signal that would attract the drones. It might give us enough time to reach your ship." "Good thinking." Alex praised her. "Luna, can you be brave for your mom? We need you to stay close and quiet." "I can be quiet," Luna replied, puffing out her chest with determination. "I'll follow you." With a plan in place, the trio began to move cautiously through the forest. Alex led the way, carefully navigating the dense underbrush, while Zara and Luna stayed close behind. The trees were tall, casting long shadows that offered some protection, but the atmosphere was tense. Every rustle and distant sound heightened their anxiety. As they made their way to the communication tower, Alex glanced back at Zara and Luna, who were focused and determined. He admired their strength, especially Luna, who had shown such bravery despite the dire situation. He felt a sense of responsibility to protect them. They soon reached the base of the communication tower. It loomed above them, old and covered in vines, but it still seemed sturdy. Zara climbed up the rusted steps first, and Alex followed closely behind. Luna hesitated at the bottom, her eyes wide with fear. "You can do this, Luna." Alex encouraged her. "Just stay close to your mother, and you'll be safe." With a deep breath, Luna took the first step onto the tower. Slowly, she climbed up, her small hands gripping the railing tightly. Once they reached the top, Zara hurried to the control panel. The buttons were covered in dust, but she quickly wiped them off and began examining the interface. "I used to work on these systems before the warlord took over our village," she explained, her fingers flying over the buttons. "If I can just... yes. Here it is." Alex kept watch, scanning the horizon for any signs of the drones. The tension was palpable as Zara worked. Time felt like it was slipping away, each second stretching longer than the last. "Hurry," he urged, glancing back towards the village where he could see the dark shapes of drones patrolling. "Almost there," Zara replied, her brow furrowed in concentration. Suddenly, the panel lit up, illuminating the area with a soft glow. "I'm broadcasting a fake distress signal. This should draw their attention away from us." Just then, a loud whirring noise filled the air, and Alex's heart dropped. He turned to see several drones changing direction, their sensors lighting up as they picked up on the false signal. "They're coming. We need to move now." As they rushed down the steps, Luna stumbled, and Alex quickly reached out to catch her. "I've got you," he assured her. "Let's go." They dashed through the trees, adrenaline fueling their escape. The sound of drones searching the area was deafening, and Alex could feel the urgency in the air. They raced toward the star chaser, their only hope for safety. The vibrant colors of the alien plants blurred by them as they sprinted, and the heavy thud of their hearts matched the frantic pace of their feet. Finally, they reached the ship. Alex punched in the codes to open the hatch, glancing back at Zara and Luna, who were just moments behind. "Get inside quickly," he shouted. Once inside, Alex immediately began prepping the ship for launch. "Zara, can you strap Luna into the seat?" he called over his shoulder, focusing on the controls. He felt a mixture of fear and excitement coursing through him. They were so close to escaping, but he knew they had to be quick. Zara nodded, quickly helping Luna into the harness. "You need to hold on tight, Luna. We're going to be safe soon, I promise." With everything ready, Alex activated the ship's systems. The hum of machinery filled the cabin as he felt the vibrations beneath his feet. "Hold on," he shouted, pressing the launch button. The Star Chaser lifted off the ground, the powerful engines roaring to life. Alex maneuvered the ship away from the trees and into the sky, quickly gaining altitude. The landscape of Ventura shrank below them, a vibrant world now fading into the distance. But just as they were gaining speed, the alarms blared loudly. Alex's heart sank as he realized the drones had followed them. "They're locking onto us," he shouted, panic rising in his voice. Zara's face turned pale as she clutched Luna tighter. "What do we do?" she asked, fear creeping into her voice. "Hang on. I'll try to shake them off," Alex replied, focusing on the controls. He maneuvered the ship sharply, dipping and rolling to evade the incoming drones. Each movement was precise, adrenaline driving his instincts. The drones fired energy blasts, illuminating the darkening sky. Alex felt the impacts rattle the ship. "We need to get out of here," he shouted, determination fueling his actions. "Just a little further," he encouraged himself, pushing the ship's engines to their limits. As they soared higher, he initiated the cloaking device, hoping it would hide them from their pursuers. The ship shimmered and vanished from sight, and the drones buzzed past, unable to locate their target. "Did it work?" Luna asked, her voice trembling. "I think so," Alex replied, exhaling a breath he didn't know he was holding. "We're safe for now." As they broke through the atmosphere, Alex felt a surge of relief wash over him. They were leaving Vantora behind, but he knew their journey was far from over. He glanced back at Zara and Luna, who were safe for the moment, and vowed to do everything he could to protect them. "Let's set a course for safety," Alex said, determination in his voice. "We'll find a place where you and your daughter can be free." Zara looked at him, gratitude shining in her eyes. "Thank you, Alex. You've given us hope." With that, they embarked on a new journey together, leaving the dangers of Vantora behind and heading toward a future filled with possibilities. "You said," as the star chasers sped through the stars, the vastness of space enveloped them in a blanket of silence. The distant twinkling of stars seemed like tiny beacons of hope against the dark void. Alex adjusted the ship's controls, ensuring they were on the right course away from Vantora. Zara and Luna sat in the passenger area, both still catching their breath from the harrowing escape. "Are we safe now?" Luna asked, her bright blue hair bouncing slightly as she leaned forward, eyes wide with a mix of fear and curiosity. "For now," Alex replied, glancing back at them with a reassuring smile. "But we need to keep our guard up. I'll monitor the systems to make sure we don't have any unwanted visitors." Zara wrapped her arms around Luna, pulling her close. "You were so brave, Luna. I'm proud of you," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. Luna smiled back, feeling the warmth of her mother's love. As the ship glided through the emptiness, Alex thought about their next steps. "We need to find a safe place to land," he said, his mind racing with options. "There's a space station a few light years from here. It's known for helping those in need." Zora looked at him with gratitude. "You really want to help us?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Of course," Alex replied, determination shining in his eyes. "No one should have to suffer under a warlord's rule. We'll find a way to keep you both safe." Luna's eyes sparkled with admiration as she listened to the conversation. "Can we go to the station? Will it be safe there?" "I believe so," Alex assured her. "They help people like us, and they might even have resources to fight back against that warlord." As they traveled, Alex couldn't help but reflect on the danger they had just escaped. Vantora had been a place of beauty, filled with lush greenery and colorful alien plants, but it was also a land scarred by oppression. The thought of Zara and Luna suffering under the warlord's tyranny fueled his determination. He wanted to help them find freedom, but he knew that the path ahead would not be easy. "Can you tell us more about the station?" Zara asked, breaking the silence. "Sure. It's called Haven Point," Alex began, adjusting the ship's course. "It's a bustling hub for travelers from all over the galaxy. They have advanced technology, resources, and even a few friendly faces who will help us." Zara nodded, her expression thoughtful. "And what if the warlord finds us there?" Alex frowned, realizing the truth in her words. "That's a risk we'll have to take. But Haven Point is known for its security. We can lay low and come up with a plan to fight back." Luna piped up, "I want to help. We can't just run away." Zara smiled at her daughter's spirit. "You're right, Luna. But we need to be smart about it. Let's focus on getting to safety first." The ship hummed softly as they traveled deeper into space. Alex kept his eyes on the navigation screen, but he could feel the weight of their situation pressing on him. The world outside the ship was vast and unknown, filled with dangers and surprises, but it also held the possibility of new beginnings. Suddenly, an alert pinged through the cabin. Alex's heart raced as he read the warning. "We've got incoming ships," he shouted, quickly checking the sensors. "Are they the warlord's drones?" Zara asked, her voice filled with concern. "I don't know yet," Alex replied, focusing on the readouts. "They could be bounty hunters or scavengers. We need to prepare." He began activating the ship's defenses while Zara and Luna strapped themselves into their seats. "Stay calm," he said, trying to keep the atmosphere from becoming too tense. "We've made it this far. We can handle this." The alarm continued to blare, and Alex maneuvered the ship, trying to evade the approaching vessels. He could see their silhouettes against the stars, sharp and menacing. "They're gaining on us," he shouted, adrenaline surging through him. Just then, the comms system crackled to life. "Star Chaser, this is Haven Point. We've detected your distress signal. Are you in need of assistance?" Relief washed over Alex as he recognized the voice. "Yes, we're being pursued by hostile ships. We need immediate help." "Hold tight, we're sending reinforcements your way," the voice responded, and Alex felt a glimmer of hope. The approaching ships grew closer, and he could see their weapons charging up. "We have to hold out just a little longer," he urged. Luna clutched her mother's hand tightly, her small voice whispering, "We can do this, right?" "Absolutely," Zara said, looking at Alex. "We believe in you." With renewed determination, Alex piloted the Star Chaser with skill, dodging and weaving through the stars, knowing that help was on the way. As the enemy ships closed in, he focused on staying one step ahead, reminding himself that they were not alone anymore. Each Star Chaser hurtled through space, weaving between stars like a firefly in a dark forest. Alex's heart pounded in his chest as he navigated the ship with skill, his focus razor-sharp. The enemy ships were closing in fast, their menacing forms like shadows looming over them. Behind him, Zara and Luna sat strapped in, their eyes wide with fear but filled with determination. "We can't keep this up for long," Zara shouted over the blaring alarms. "What's the plan, Alex?" "We're almost there," he replied, glancing at the navigation screen. Haven Point was just ahead, a glimmering oasis in the vastness of space. "Once we reach the station, we'll have reinforcements. We just need to hold them off a little longer." As if in response, the enemy ships fired their weapons, bright bursts of energy lighting up the darkness. Alex swerved the ship to avoid the blasts, his heart racing as the Star Chaser shuddered from the near misses. "Brace yourselves," he yelled, gripping the controls tightly. Luna squeezed her mother's hand, her voice a whisper. "Are we going to be okay?" Zara turned to her daughter, her eyes fierce with love. "We will be, Luna. Trust Alex. He's our hero." With renewed strength, Alex pushed the ship to its limits, dodging and weaving as the enemy fire rained down. The space around them was chaotic, a dance of destruction and survival. "Come on, Haven Point. We need you now," he shouted into the comms. Just then, a voice crackled through the speakers. "Star Chaser, we see your situation. Engage the cloaking device and prepare for a jump to our coordinates." "Roger that," Alex responded, quickly activating the cloaking device. The Star Chaser shimmered and then faded from view, becoming nearly invisible to the enemy ships. "Now," he shouted, engaging the hyperdrive. The ship surged forward, a burst of speed propelling them through the darkness. The stars outside twisted and blurred as they jumped to light speed, and for a brief moment, the chaos fell away. "Did we lose them?" Luna asked, her voice trembling with excitement. "Not yet," Alex replied, his heart still racing. He concentrated on the navigation system, directing them toward Haven Point's coordinates. The comms crackled again. "Stay alert. They might try to follow you into light speed." Suddenly, the ship jolted violently. The enemy had somehow managed to follow them. Alarms blared as the ship shook under the impact of enemy fire. "Hang on," Alex shouted, wrestling with the controls to stabilize the Star Chaser. "I thought we were safe." Luna cried out, her voice laced with fear. "We will be, I promise." Alex gritted his teeth, focusing on the task at hand. He checked the sensors and saw that they were just moments away from reaching Haven Point, but the enemy ships were relentless. "Prepare for combat," he shouted, flipping switches to arm the ship's defensive systems. Zara's eyes widened as she clutched Luna tightly. "What are you doing?" "Defending our home," he replied, adrenaline coursing through his veins. "We can't let them follow us. Not now." The Star Chaser fired back, energy beams lancing out toward the enemy ships. The explosions lit up the darkness like fireworks, and Alex felt a rush of exhilaration. "We can do this," he encouraged Zara and Luna, who both watched in awe. As the battle raged on, Haven Point's defenses kicked in. Automated turrets sprang to life, targeting the enemy ships with precision. Bright blasts of energy erupted, striking the pursuers with incredible force. Alex maneuvered the Star Chaser alongside the station's protective shield, feeling the surge of hope. "Almost there," he shouted, sweat beading on his brow. The enemy ships were disoriented, caught in the crossfire between the Star Chaser and Haven Point's defenses. But one ship, larger and more powerful than the rest, pushed through the chaos, locking onto their position. "They're targeting us," Alex yelled, his heart racing. "Evasive maneuvers," Zara cried, her eyes wide. "Hang on." Alex pulled the controls hard, banking the ship to the left just as the enemy fired. The blast missed them by inches, illuminating the cockpit with a blinding flash. Then, without warning, a booming voice echoed over the comms. "This is Haven Point. Star Chaser, we've got your back." The air in Haven Point buzzed with energy as Alex, Zora, and Luna prepared for the rescue mission. The command center was alive with chatter as pilots and strategists organized their forces. Bright screens flickered with maps and data, showing the locations of the captured villagers and the warlord's stronghold. Alex felt a surge of determination. This was not just a fight for survival, it was a fight for justice and freedom. "Are you ready?" Zara asked, her voice steady but filled with emotion. She had transformed from a scared mother into a fierce warrior, her resolve shining through. "As ready as we'll ever be," Alex replied, his mind racing with plans. He glanced at Luna, who was drawing strength from her mother. "We're going to save everyone. We just have to stick together." They gathered around a holographic display showing the enemy's fortress, a dark and menacing structure perched on a rocky cliff. Drones patrolled the perimeter, their mechanical eyes scanning for intruders. The sight sent a chill down Alex's spine. "This won't be easy. We'll need a distraction to get inside," he said, strategizing. "I can create a diversion." Luna piped up, her bright blue hair framing her determined face. "I can use my abilities to draw their attention away." Zara knelt down to look her daughter in the eyes. "Luna, it's dangerous. We don't want you to get hurt." "I can do this, Mom. I want to help." Luna insisted, her small fists clenched in determination. Alex admired her bravery. "If you're sure, Luna, we'll need you to be very careful. We'll be right behind you." As they finalized their plan, a group of pilots entered the command center. "We're ready to take off," one of them said, their faces serious but hopeful. Alex felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. They were risking their lives for the captured villagers, and he knew they had to succeed. "Let's move out," Alex called, leading the way to the hangar. The Star Chaser awaited them, gleaming in the light of the bay. As they climbed aboard, Luna's small hands trembled with excitement and fear. Once inside, Zara fastened herself into the co-pilot's seat, while Luna sat beside her, ready for action. "Remember, we're in this together," Alex said, igniting the engines. The ship hummed to life, and they felt the familiar thrill of adventure. With a roar, the Star Chaser lifted off, piercing through the atmosphere toward the enemy fortress. The landscape below transformed from vibrant forests to rocky terrain, and the stronghold loomed closer. As they approached, Alex initiated the cloaking device, making them invisible to the enemy sensors. "Luna, get ready for your part," he reminded her. "On it," she responded, her face set with determination. As they neared the fortress, Alex scanned for a suitable landing spot. "There's a small cave system on the side of the cliff. It should provide cover for us," he said, guiding the ship toward the entrance. The Star Chaser touched down softly, and Alex activated the cloaking device again. "Let's go. Remember, we stick together," he said as they stepped out into the shadows. The air was thick with tension as they crept toward the fortress, the distant sounds of the guards echoing ominously. Luna led the way, her small frame slipping through the underbrush, while Alex and Zara followed closely behind. Luna focused her energy, her heart racing. She extended her hand, and a shimmering light glowed around her. "I'm ready," she whispered. With a nod, Alex signaled for Luna to create her diversion. She stepped away from them, her glowing aura brightening. The moment was breathtaking, and Alex held his breath as she unleashed a wave of energy. The energy pulse radiated outward, drawing the attention of the drones and guards. They turned, confused, their mechanical eyes darting toward the source of the disturbance. "Now," Alex urged, leading Zora forward. The trio slipped through the fortress's entrance, the darkened hallways echoing with the sounds of guards scrambling to investigate Luna's diversion. The atmosphere was heavy with tension as they navigated the dimly lit corridors. As they advanced, they spotted a group of captured villagers behind a reinforced door. Zara's heart ached for them. She recognized some of her neighbors among them. "They're right there," she exclaimed, pointing to the door. Alex examined the locking mechanism, frustration bubbling inside him. "I can hack this, but I need cover. Zara, can you watch for guards?" "Of course," she replied, her eyes scanning the area. With a deep breath, Alex activated his hacking tools, quickly working to override the security system. Time seemed to stretch, and every moment felt like an eternity. Come on," he muttered under his breath, glancing over his shoulder. Zara was poised, ready to protect them, her expression fierce. Suddenly, the door clicked open with a soft hiss. "Got it," Alex shouted, swinging the door wide. The villagers poured out, wide-eyed and frightened, but filled with hope. "Zara," one of the villagers cried, rushing forward. "You're alive." "There's no time to explain. We need to get out of here now," Zora urged, gathering them together. The group moved quickly, but as they reached the exit, alarms blared, and red lights flashed throughout the fortress. "They know we're here," Alex shouted. "Run," Luna yelled, her voice ringing out above the chaos as they sprinted toward the exit. Drones and guards converged on their position, and the fight for survival ignited. Alex and Zara fought side by side, using everything they had to protect the villagers as they rushed toward the Star Chaser. "Luna, stay close," Zara shouted as she deflected a drone's attack with a swift motion. "I'm right here," Luna replied, her energy glowing brighter as she assisted in the fight, creating barriers of light to shield them. As they neared the ship, Alex could feel the weight of their escape pressing down on them. They had come so far, but the enemy was relentless. He gritted his teeth, determined not to let anyone fall behind. "Almost there," he yelled, urging everyone forward as they burst through the final door and into the hangar. With adrenaline surging, they climbed aboard the Star Chaser, securing the villagers inside. "Get ready for takeoff," Alex shouted, his heart pounding with urgency. He powered up the engines as the alarms blared outside. The hangar door opened, revealing the chaotic scene outside, but they had come too far to turn back now. Hold on tight, Alex warned as he accelerated, the ship roaring to life. They shot out of the hangar, leaving the fortress behind in a blaze of light and noise. As the Star Chaser soared into the sky, Alex felt a mix of relief and exhilaration wash over him. They had succeeded against all odds, and together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the Star Chaser soared through the stars, the adrenaline from the escape coursed through Alex's veins. They had narrowly avoided disaster, and the sight of the rescued villagers, now safe in the ship, filled him with hope. But the warlord was still out there, and he would not take their escape lightly. "Are we safe?" one of the villagers asked, her voice trembling. Zara, sitting beside her, placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "For now, yes, but we must be prepared for anything." Luna's bright blue hair glowed faintly as she focused her energy. "We need a plan. The warlord will send his drones after us," she said, determination lighting up her eyes. Alex nodded, grateful for her insight. "You're right. We can't just run. We need to confront him and end this once and for all." He turned to the group. "Listen up, everyone. We've escaped, but the warlord won't stop hunting us. We need to strike back." Zara stood, her voice strong. "The villagers have suffered enough. We must fight for our freedom." Her words ignited a fire in everyone's hearts. They were no longer just victims. They were warriors ready to reclaim their lives. "Let's gather information," Alex said, activating the ship's holographic display. The screen lit up with maps of the surrounding space, highlighting the warlord's known bases and movements. "If we can identify where he operates, we can plan our attack." As they studied the layout, Alex's fingers traced the paths leading to the warlord's main base, a heavily fortified station on a distant asteroid. "This is our target," he said, pointing. "It's isolated, but he'll have guards and drones. We'll need to be strategic." One of the villagers, an older man with gray hair, stepped forward. "We can create diversions, gather the locals, and prepare them for battle," he suggested, a spark of courage in his voice. "Exactly," Alex agreed. "We can form alliances with other villages. They'll want to fight back against the warlord as much as we do. We have to unite our people." As the Star Chaser hurtled through space, Alex felt a sense of urgency. They were racing against time, but he also felt the weight of hope. The villagers believed in him, and together they were ready to confront their fears. Once they reached the asteroid, the crew began their preparations. Alex divided the villagers into teams. Each group was assigned specific tasks, from gathering weapons to creating distractions. Luna and Zara worked closely with Alex, sharing their insights and ideas. "Luna, your abilities will be crucial in this fight," Alex said. "If you can create barriers and distractions, we'll have a better chance." "I'll do my best," she replied, her determination shining through. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as night fell on the asteroid. The villagers moved stealthily, gathering supplies and weapons from their own hidden caches. They had all felt the pain of oppression, and now they were ready to reclaim their freedom. As the final plans were laid, Alex stood at the forefront, addressing the group. "This is our chance. We fight for our families, our homes, and for every villager who has suffered under the warlord's rule. Together, we are stronger." Cheers erupted from the villagers, their spirits lifted. The sound echoed in the stillness of space, a testament to their unity. They had transformed from scared captives into brave warriors. As they approached the warlord's base under the cover of darkness, the tension was palpable. The Star Chaser hovered at a safe distance, its cloaking device engaged. They could see the lights of the enemy stronghold twinkling like stars against the blackness of space. Alex's heart raced as he prepared for the final confrontation. "Stay alert and stick to the plan," he instructed, glancing at each of their determined faces. "We'll take them by surprise, but we must be ready for anything." With a nod from Zara, Luna, and the villagers, they disembarked from the ship, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. They stealthily made their way toward the fortress, weaving through the shadows. Suddenly, alarms blared, piercing the silence. The warlord had detected their presence. "Move quickly," Alex shouted, leading the group through a hidden entrance. Inside the fortress, chaos erupted as guards scrambled to defend their territory. Alex, Zara, and the villagers fought with fierce determination. Alex utilized his combat skills, dodging attacks and countering with swift movements. Zara stood beside him, using her agility to outmaneuver the guards while protecting Luna. Luna focused her energy, creating shimmering barriers that shielded the villagers from enemy fire. Her powers were a beacon of hope, and they rallied around her, finding strength in her courage. The battle raged on, and Alex felt a surge of adrenaline. They were making progress, pushing deeper into the fortress, reclaiming territory one step at a time. Each victory ignited their spirits, and they fought harder with each passing moment. Finally, they reached the inner chamber where the warlord awaited them. He stood tall, surrounded by his most formidable guards, a sneer on his face. "You think you can defeat me?" he taunted, his voice dripping with arrogance. Alex stepped forward, adrenaline surging through him. "We're here to take back our freedom," he declared, eyes blazing with determination. With a roar, the battle resumed, a whirlwind of energy and courage. They were no longer underdogs. They were warriors, and together they would fight for their home.